What's going on, everybody? I am back, and this time with some information on Raiden's RAIJIN variation. It's been very hard to not tongue twister that 100 times while recording this. You're gonna have to forgive me for two things during today's video. One, my inactive webcam border. I'm messing around with some of my OBS settings, and so that's why that's off. And two, my sense of exhaustion. If I seem a bit tired throughout the video, it's about 100 degrees in New York right now, and I'm exaggerating, but it definitely feels like 100 degrees in this room. And if I keep the fan on while I'm recording, you will hear more fan than me, so I'm just sweating through it. If you could get through it with me, we can get a lot of cool information to a lot of cool people that could be playing a really cool character. So I want to focus on that for now. Now, if you haven't seen my Thunderwave guide, that covers a lot more of Raiden's fundamental basics. Again, I like to do these in parts. I do my favorite variation, or at least one variation. I treat that as like the core video along with some information on that variation. And then videos past that for the character are variation specific. So this video again is going to be variation specific. It's assuming you already know what Raiden does and how he works. If you don't, check out that Thunderwave video. It explains in great detail. I'll have an info card up at the top of the screen for you. If you're good on that, come back here, or if you don't need it, stay here and let's talk about RAIJIN. Now, Raiden in general got a lot of buffs in Mortal Kombat Aftermath, and I feel like they best apply to Raiden because almost everything you do is basically a guaranteed 50-50 with a little bit of risk involved, but a lot of solid 50-50s. You have really good damage, your armor break is very solid, and Raiden's game plan overall has changed with these small changes that have been made to him, and I've been enjoying them a lot. I would like you guys to do the same. In RAIJIN, you have access to a plethora of special moves, and a lot of them are going to revolve around your ability to activate this buff. Now, this here is your down back 3 that I'm activating. See his little ha, and this is going to give you access to amplified versions of special moves that will act differently. Most importantly, your down back 4. But we're going to get to that in a bit when we start talking about your down back 4, because your down back 4 can be a pain in the ass. Okay, but your down back 3, for one, gives you access to, I kid you not, the fastest punish that exists in Mortal Kombat 11. Now, is it the greatest, strongest punish you've ever seen? No. But is it insanely fast? Yes. Will it get you out of situations? Yes. I've also interrupted stupid things with it. I've interrupted like Garrus 1-1 down back 1 with it. I've interrupted any string that has a gap. You don't even have to guess on the gap if you have this thing set up. You can just shut people down. It's such a great tool to be able to make use of. It does have a condition where you need to get hit at least 3 times. You have to block 3 attacks once it's activated. So I'm going to go ahead here and try to set the AI. I'm going to record the AI jumping in so I know when it's going to attack. And then I'm going to do 1-1-4, and then I'm going to do 1-1-4 just to play it safe. And I'm going to activate my bluff, and I'm just going to block this. Okay, and now I already have it activated, and if I use it again, I now get access to the quickest punish in the game. And a smart version of me would have turned the frame data on so you can really see. So let's do this again. You see 1-1-4, those are 3 hits. I can punish. We'll try it again. Hold on, let me get in a little more. See, reversal punish. Usually 1-1-4 is a pretty safe string, but because this move is so fast, it's a 6-frame move, it can punish a lot of things you normally wouldn't be able to. So it's great for that. Outside of that, the punish... Oh, hold on, I actually need the recording again to show you this. Perfect. Even if the opponent isn't necessarily next to you, when you amplify, you get pretty good range on that amplify. So this punish not only is extremely quick on its own, which is how most people use it. They just like to wait a second, block a move, shut something down. You can also use it as a kind of mid-zoning tool. Once you have it, there's always a threat that you'll amplify it. And this does also hit in the air. So you see here, I'll accept this. I'll wait until the AI goes to jump again, and I can shut him down in the air. You almost sometimes actually get more damage doing it that way because the AI takes more of the hits from the sky than it does from just the regular punish. So it's a great tool for that. On its own, that's what the move does. In conjunctions with other moves, let's look at what it does. You have your down back 4. So your down back 4 is part of the reason that Raiden has access to 50-50s, because one of the buffs Raiden received is on his 4-3-2, This is now a mid-overhead instead of a mid-mid straight. So if you're familiar with a character like Garrus who has his knee into headbutt, both of those moves are mids. But now Raiden's second hit, this 2 on the forward 3-2, because for standing 3 gives you this, a forward 3-2, now becomes an overhead, which means you have a mix-up. I can either go forward 3-2 and smack with the overhead, or I can go forward 3 down back 4. And every time your opponent gets this wrong, you get Oki. Right, you see the damage is roughly the same. You get a little more damage for the down back 4 naturally, because the forward 3-2 is, if I'm not mistaken, safe on block. I'm going to go ahead and double check by setting the II to block it, but I'm pretty sure this is safe in combination with the pushback. Yeah, see, you're -6 and there's pushback. So you're fine. However, if you go for the forward 3 down back 4, oh, he's not blocking in stance. Thanks, game. No, block everything. Okay. If he blocks this, you're -23. So that's the risk on this mix-up. Ideally, you can keep annoying them with this, but if at one point they don't crouch block, you can get pop-up. Now, here's the way that this works now. Down back 4 is essentially a knockdown move. It's great if you have your buff. It becomes also a zoning tool, because now we get this low projectile. So that's one of the benefits of buff. Most of the benefits of your down back 3 buff are going to be the ways in which it changes your down back 4. You can jail into things off of this. Let's say, for example, you land a combo like this. You can jail into that. I did it late because I also did the wrong move. So let's look at this again. So let's say I hit something like this. And then that time I do it and I reset it. And I love being a smart boy. You get that out, they have to block that. That comes out very quick. Unless you're dealing with like Cabal or Noob Saibot where they can go for stupid wake up fatal. A lot of times I go to jail with that and people go for wake up shenanigans like that and it actually hits them out of it. It's rare, but it happens. It's a safe tool to go for it unless you fear a wake up fatal blow that's very strong and you don't trust your ability to time it. Almost always, if you get a solid knockdown on anybody, if you Superman them or something, and you have the amp, you just go for it. There's no reason not to. So it becomes a great zoning tool. Also the fact that it's a low. So this shuts down characters like, let's say, RoboCop, who would, you know, start like ducking under projectiles to trade with you. He's not going to duck under this. If you face an Avalanche Sub-Zero, I've actually liked this for the Avalanche matchup, because usually Avalanche Sub-Zero has that whole threat of like, you know, I have my Avalanche up, you can't approach me. But this can go right under that little ice ball. And of course, remember, if Sub-Zero gets hit, that ice ball gets shut down. The other benefit to your down back 4 is that normally your down back 4, even on Amplify, can't be comboed. I can take Shang all the way to the corner here. Sorry. Go for this, and I can't get a move in time. If you ever want to test this on your own, one of the greatest ways that you can test whether or not a combo is possible is just to hold up and see how long it takes your character to jump, because that gives you an indication of when your character is active again. So for example, you'll see here I jump way after he's hit the floor. So I'm doing down back 4 amplified and I'm just holding up on my controller right after. And you see how long it takes him to jump, which means there's no combo in there. However, now let's go ahead and go back to the center and let's have our buff active and do this. Now we get giant combo opportunities because now look how long he's in the air for. So this becomes a great move once it's enhanced because it becomes a combo opportunity. Anytime your opponent guesses wrong, we do this. They guess wrong on the low. Cool, we get in there and now we're in those cheeks. It's great. There is one caveat that of course you are still minus, even on Amplify. If this gets blocked, you're -23 or -25 or whatever it is when you get blocked on Amp. So if your opponent reads that you go for the low, that is your ass. You are taking a risk. Of course, if you're confirming a combo, let's say you're doing this, it's guaranteed. They're not going to block mid-combo. And you're pretty much, they're grounded up until the launcher. So they have no choice up until they get hit with down back 4 to get out of there. And at that point, you've already done 22 damage. If you get in for your down 2, if you don't have easy crushing blows on because you're prepping for later in the tutorial. If this one doesn't work, I'm taking him to the corner on the next one. So I'm not getting embarrassed. Okay, you can still get 300 guaranteed. Now, when you get in a situation like that. Usually, watch how smooth this segue is. You do something like that, and if there's any point where your opponent wants to break away, it's immediately when they get launched. And as we discussed, when you do this combo, they're not getting launched until that down back 4. 9 times out of 10, that's what your opponent is going to break away on. And let me show you what happens when they break away now in Aftermath. I'm putting it on delay just to make it easier for myself, just to get the point across. Look what move is an armor break now. You're down back 2. Which normally is just, this is good against, let's say, like upgraded or Devoras or people who like to jump in on you a lot with stupid moves. You can challenge them on said moves. But this is now your armor break move. Even in something like this, let's say I make the read he's going to do that, cool, doesn't count. And if you amplify it, you actually get pretty decent damage off of it. So I still guaranteed 300%. This is the big benefit with this move being your armor break move now for breakaway. Is that if you start using it consistently, what I found, for the most part when I'm playing people with Raijin, is if I just assert off the bat that I'm always going to do this. I don't care how short the combo is. And this definitely helps if you have a life lead. I don't care, I'm going to do this. I don't care what you do. I'm going to do this route. I'm going to do this. It's either going to combo or it's going to break their breakaway. People will start thinking it's not worth spending the meter because it's guaranteed damage anyway. And once they become conditioned to that, you start hitting them with a combo. I was supposed to turn the AI onto things, and I've changed all of my settings, and now all this stuff sucks. Hold on. I'm not even going to edit it out because what, you know? Now when you start hitting them with combos, guess what? Now they're hesitant to press it, and then you get more damage. Of course, I could spend meter here if I want to, if I'm really trying to close out a round. Ideally, I don't find the meter on the amplified version of this move worth spending. See, it only gave me like another 3 damage. So most times I wouldn't go for it, but if you are closing out a round, damage counts, you know? So it is helpful that that's there. And if they do break away and you spend the meter, you get the damage you would have gotten from the combo anyway. So that's the big benefit to that. Down back 4 becomes crazy once you're amped, and down back 2 means that your opponent never knows when they want to spend defensive meter because you're always just going to rip them out of the sky anyway. It's similar to Spawn's Club, I believe his back forward 3 if I'm not mistaken. You use Spawn's Club after every combo. At some point, people just stop spending defensive meter because why waste it if I'm going to get clipped anyway? And with Spawn, even worse, why give you the pop-up? So with Raiden, a similar idea. A very similar idea, different execution, but still, it pressures your opponent to not spend defensive meter, which means you guarantee yourself combo damage. Or you cannot do it, have them spend the breakaway, and then try to Oki them in the corner. Of course, that's when you start getting into fighting game mentality. You figure that out as you go and what you like to prefer. And what you prefer to like to do with RAIJIN Raiden or Raiden's RAIJIN variation. Say that 100 times without dropping it. You can't. It's harder than an upgraded combo loop, okay? It's harder than doing Sindel confirms off of amplified screen on female hitboxes. I spent too much time on that. Here's the caveat with down back 3. I actually have to go back in my settings since I unfortunately turned my HD crushing blows off. Crushing blows or interactions of the sort will shut it down, which can be annoying. So let's take a look here, right? Normally, this would be our combo extender if we could help it, right? If we had our buff, we would do something like this. So you would think, okay, I hit a crushing blow. Let's say I'm fortunate enough to get this back to crushing blow. Now I want to do that confirmed. There's no pop-up. Why? Because my buff went away the second I hit the crushing blow. And it's very important that you know that. That will happen to you. So you'll lose guaranteed damage if you go for routes, assuming you still have the buff after interactions like that. Any crushing blow, if you get hit with an interactable that goes, any cutscene that looks like this, that buff's gonna disappear. So I have it active here, you can see. I down to him, you look at me now, I don't have it anymore. Easiest way to tell is from distance. There's no zoning tool anymore. So now I've lost it. That's the big pain with it. When you have the buff, it's great. And you can get in and do all of this cool stuff, and you catch somebody, and you're like, yeah, I'm on his ass. Now it's gone. So you have to change how you choose to go about your combos to get big damage. That, for example, is the route that I would go for off of the back 2. Unless you're in the corner, you can get like wonkier stuff. You can get cool stuff and really big damage stuff. But for the most part, if I hit this somewhere and I want guaranteed damage, I'm gonna go for dash in, standing 3-2 into amplified Superman. So that's the easiest route I found that's pretty consistent. Of course, unless you have Fatal Blow, then you're going to do forward 3-2 Fatal Blow and get like 55% and really scare your opponent. Now, you also have down forward 2. Down forward 2 is great because you are safe on block. It's going to be one of the main reasons that you're going to use it. And the benefit of it being safe on block. He doesn't need to flawless block everything, just block everything. Okay, perfect. So you'll see if we activate this, we're -10, but with pushback, you'll be surprised how often this doesn't get punished. So let's say like Shang definitely has a 7-frame standing one, but at this range, it's not a threat. And any move he has that reaches this far, I'm safe by the time, you know? So it's deceptively, so like, of course the normal exceptions, Jackie, Liu Kang, Kano, people with really fast, I am the projectiles can get in on this. Most characters won't have an answer for this. It becomes great. If you amplify it, you can't. So I thought for a second you can amplify. I'm going to double check. I might have forgot because I've been using that move less as I've been getting more comfortable with my mix-ups. Yes, there's no amplify, so that was my mistake. Ignore that. But this is still safe. This is usually going to be your tool to see how people react to your mix-ups, because Raiden now also, one of his other 50-50s that he got in Aftermath is his back 1-2 into 1+3, or you see the way I like to do it, back 1-2 into L1, because why make the execution harder? Even though my fat boy thumbs can definitely do this anyway. This now becomes a mix-up, so you're full of strike throw mix-ups. Am I going to do back 1-2 and then throw? Or am I going to do back 1-2 and then my down back 4, especially if I have amp, they let go of block because they don't want to deal with the throw. They get launched, I do down back 2 to get them out the air, game over. So amazing tool. Use it as much as you can, get really comfortable with it. You're going to want to use it a lot to keep people frustrated. Very similar to Shao forward 3 shoulder charge. It's just, do you have the audacity to let it rip? Because most people, their first instinct when they see this is, I was paying attention to the Aftermath patch and I know it's a throw. Like, this guy must think I'm stupid and this guy must think I don't know it's a throw. Of course you know that they know. And you introduce the mix-up to them. Then they have to get concerned. Then what happens is they get open to the throw later. And throw is still fine because you get so much corner carry off of this. We're here mid-screen, I do back 1-2 into throw. I've pushed them very far. Let's say, you know, you're good enough to, you're on top of them, you do forward 2, back 1-2 into throw, and they get caught. He's almost in the corner now. Look how close he is. He's just a second away from getting cornered into Oki, and then, you know, let's say, God forbid for him, he gets launched, and I get the breakaway, and now he doesn't have defensive meter, and he's standing here, and I've got a 4-3 mix-up that he's constantly got to guess on, or I can step back and shimmy and get in with back 1-2 to punish him, or he jumps in, I do standing 1 into 1-2 Superman. This, you know, of course, any character in Mortal Kombat gets you with no meter to with your back to the wall. It's a problem, but Raiden now has entered that plethora, or has entered that hall of fame of characters with 50-50s that you have to deal with in the corner. So he can be surprisingly annoying if he sandwiches you. And most players aren't expecting, not until like, I'd say higher intermediate to high level play, not until then are they really conscious of how annoying Raijin can be. Because for the most part, again, if you run into a Raijin player, it's somebody who just thinks Raiden is cool and is not necessarily formidable with him yet. But if you run into a player who knows how to play Raiden, God forbid they're a Raiden main, and they pull out Raijin and they sandwich you in the corner like that, it's a big problem. Because constant mix-ups, 4-3-2, forward 3, down back 4, forward 3 staggers while you're waiting, forward 3 into throw, down 1 into down back 4, down 1 into forward 2 to keep themselves safe. There's a lot of annoying tools. So when people get introduced to this mix-up, or if you're trying to introduce somebody to that mix-up and you don't want to necessarily risk the down back 4, you can do back 1-2, down forward 2, and see, of course, because if they block this, you're fine, and if they don't block it, you'll notice they get hit, and then you'll go, oh, I have to keep that in mind. This guy wasn't blocking. It gives you an idea to see how your opponent reacts to seeing this. What do they know? Do this, see what their reaction is, adjust accordingly. If they start choosing to block it every time because they think you're always going to go for it, that's how they get open to this. So it even still helps enforce a mix-up because the mix-up is strike-throw. This is still strike. So this is still fine. And it's a safe strike, so it's either gonna it's not gonna give you as much damage as down back 4 with your buff on, but it's gonna give you damage. And sometimes that matters. And look how much damage this does on chip too. Look at this. If you look at his health meter right now, that's a pretty substantial amount of chip. I know it doesn't seem like much, but over time that can add up. If somebody has only 5% health left, if we were to take the AI and put him in like a dangerous scenario, right? Let's give the AI, let's say 20 health. This AI has 20 health. This is my opponent here. This starts mattering, that little chunk, because they can't eat this all day. That'll get at them eventually. And if they get opened up to it, we take them off a block. We'll just do the down back 2. That's decent. That kills. So this becomes very important because it either hits them or they block it and take the chip, which still matters. So keep track of that. Abuse that on them. It's going to be very solid. Am I forgetting anything important? Your buff is great. It gets canceled with crushing blows. Your down back 4 is amazing. You can still amplify it even if you're not going to combo, if it's going to squeeze out damage that matters. Again, in situations like this, any hit that I get, I can spend meter on because this is going to kill him eventually. You still have your back 1 projectile. Of course, you can meter burn it. Amplify doesn't change it. See, does 7, buff on, still does 7, still works the same. Your Superman fly still works the same, though the crushing blow condition is easier, so you don't have to be necessarily full screen. Now, before you had to be around here to really get the crushing blow for it. Now you can be like around this range, and this will still count. And the sneakiest way you can get it if you want, if you would like to practice a nice way to get in on people with this, is if you can jump over projectiles. It's easier said than done, but I've definitely done it. Hold on. Let me get this down for you guys. Oh, because this one's a pain to jump over. This is like a precise jump you have to make. Oh, I almost had it there. Oh, come on, Kev. So we can end the video. So we can all go home and be happy and play Raijin. You get over it, you can do something like that. Get in and get your crushing blow. That's a lot of times how I fish for it. It's not just calling that they're going to go for projectile and then getting it. But Raijin, he's amazing. Get your combos down, find your fun stuff. I mean, just look how cool a combo like this. Oh, of course, your back 1 goes into your overhead, but we covered that already in our fundamental video, which you should have gone and seen if you're here at this point. Look at how cool a combo like this looks. Let's even do it into Fatal Blow before we sign off. If you guys have gotten bored, it's fine. I just love Raijin so much, and I really want to do this. Let's see how much damage you can really get with something like this. Look at this. Look how cool that looks, you know? And it's still doing substantial damage. Guys, if you're interested in Raijin, I actually think it might be Raiden's best variation. Now, I'm an advocate for it. I was a Thunder Wave player, but now I'm a Raijin guy. And I'd like you to hop on board with me. Let me know if you feel the same way about it. I know a lot of you out there still favor Thunder Wave, and I don't blame you. Raiden is fun in every variation except for Truth and Light because you're going to lose playing it. It's like Spellmaster Shank. Why do it to yourself? I'll probably cover it later soon because I know some cool stuff with it, but I need the secrety secrets right now for some tournament stuff. So we'll bring it up later when I don't need access to it anymore. Everybody, thank you for staying tuned. I'm going to be dropping a lot more videos soon. I'm trying to catch up. I know it's been about like a week since I uploaded, so I'm happy to get this one up, and I'm excited to get more videos up for you. I, of course, stream on Twitch most nights right now at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. While we've got quarantine hours, come in and join me, ask me questions, play some games, talk with me. I love to hear from you guys, and I will see you soon in the next video. Much love to you all. Peace.